sweeties, and welcome back to Queer Cosplayers Family Kitchen for the continuing adventures of Galentine's month. So we are going to break a little bit from the tradition of Galentine's Day, which the motto, of course, is hoes before bros, and we are going to pay tribute to the other half of the ultimate Pawnee power couple, and that being Leslie's husband, Ben Wyatt, and his favorite food, calzones. Now, pretty much everyone in Pawnee thinks calzones are kind of pointless. It's a pizza that's harder to eat. But, according to Ben, calzones are the ideal food because it is a portable, delicious meal that is its own container. So, we are going to try to recreate his recipe for calzones thanks to the incredible Jen Fujikawa. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, sweeties, so we are ready to get started. So, our first ingredient is going to be some sausage. Now, according to the recipe, you should cook this over a skillet over medium-high heat by cooking it in some olive oil and garlic. Now, I've already got some pre-cooked sausage from when my mom made some pizzas, and then she gave it to me. So I've just reheated this, and we are going to use that. Then to also get that garlic flavor, we are just going to add a little bit of minced garlic, like so. Now, we are going to add some oregano, pretty typical when it comes to pizzas. So we are going to need a teaspoon of this once I get it opened. Alright. Ooh, I love the smell of oregano. Alright. There we go. 1 teaspoon of oregano. We are also going to need a teaspoon of some dried basil, also pretty typical in a pizza recipe. Just bought these, so gotta get them open. There we go. All right. 1 teaspoon of basil. So seal that back up. Then we are going to do a half a teaspoon of onion powder. Let's see, half a teaspoon. There we go. Then a 1/4 teaspoon salt. Go. Then last but not least, a little bit of pepper. There we go. There we go. Now we are going to add about 2/3 of a cup of marinara sauce. Now, what I've got left over is some pizza sauce, so we are just going to add that in. It's about a half a jar, so hopefully that'll be enough. We're going a little bit MacGyver with this one. So then you simply mix the ingredients together, and then once again, because I'm already using pre-cooked sausage, you're supposed to cook all of this in a pan with the olive oil and garlic. So I'm going to mix this up and then just nuke it for a couple of minutes. Alright, sweeties, so we are ready to start getting the dough ready. And what we're going to be using is some basic refrigerated pizza dough. I've unwrapped it, so we're going to give it a good smack like that and unroll it like so. So now we are going to want to roll this out, and we are going to be dividing it into 4 separate pieces. into 4 roughly equal pieces. So now what we're going to want to do is to shape it into a flat circle about 7 inches in diameter. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can use a rolling pin, or you can just use your hands, kind of the way I'm doing right now. Alright, so we've got our first one rolled out right here. And so what we are going to do, first and foremost, is take a tablespoon of ricotta cheese right here. And plop that down. Spread it around like so. You want to make sure we only put it on half, because as you can imagine with a calzone, excuse me, we are going to fold it in half. So on top of that, we are going to add a quarter of our sausage mixture here. So this isn't going to be exact, so we will try and eyeball it. Skosh more. Okay. Alright, and then last but not least, we are also going to add a tablespoon of mozzarella. However, I am going to measure that by hand. There we go. Alright, so now you are going to take the other edge and fold it in half, like so. Then, once you have a fork, you're going to want to crimp the edges here, just like if you were making a tart or something like that. Crimp it so that it seals up. Action. Alright, sweeties, so we've got them all set up. This one got a little bit buggered up because the dough wouldn't quite stretch the way I wanted it to, but the rest of these turned out great. So the last step before we put these in the oven is I've got a mixture of 2 tablespoons of melted butter, 1 clove of minced garlic, and about a half a teaspoon of dried basil. So we are going to mix this together and brush these with the mixture, like so. Get a good coating, give them a nice color. Then you are going to preheat the oven to about 400 degrees and stick them in for about 15 to 17 minutes. Oh, and looks like I forgot something. You are also going to sprinkle on some Parmesan cheese before these go in the oven. Action. Well, sweeties, these turned out fantastically. Sure to do Ben Wyatt proud. These are indeed a delicious meal inside its own container, and sure enough, in several years they will say, "Pizza? Never heard of it, because pizza's old news." So thank you so much for tuning in with us. I really enjoyed sharing this recipe with you, and I cannot wait to continue the adventures of Galentine's month. Thank you so much, sweeties. Bye!